Okay, this video is a quick demo of the Hangman program in Rebol. First thing you see in the code is a block of draw commands that are labeled body, and you can see there are separate line commands and circle command and all the commands that are needed to draw the noose and the person. Then next, these lines go through and create a word list, and the way this works is you start by copying the words from system words and then remove each of the words that has fewer than 4 characters, and then we go through each of these characters and take out or remove any of the words in the word list where we find those characters. So we're left with a list of words labeled WRDS, and then we create a new word here that refers to the first of a random arrangement of those words. So basically we're just picking out a random word from that list. We have the random seed using the time function to make sure that that creates a truly random selection. Now we create a block, a GUI block labeled GUI, and in that block there is a text area that's 400 by 200 pixels, and we're going to use that area as the place where the draw commands are placed. So we have an effect attached to that area with the draw block attached to it too. And that draw block is empty in the beginning, and then the little crossword just makes sure that all these next things are placed across the screen. And so we have an area text, a piece of text labeled S, with the font size changed so it's a little bigger, and it's 140 pixels across. And we have a little label there showing that the next bit of text is going to contain the guesses that we typed in, and another empty text area with the font size turned up labeled K. The return just puts us on the next line in the GUI, and then we create a new button style, which is called BT. It's a button which is 38 by 38 pixels, and which contains all of this code whenever it's clicked. To that black. And so what happens when the when the button is clicked is we append to the text in the K text field whatever is on the current face of the button. So what's going to happen here is these buttons are going to have a bunch of different letters, so when you click on that button, the text on the button is appended to that guesses text field. Now if we it's going to do some evaluation here. If you don't find in the current word the word that we created up above, the face text, the letter that's on the button, then we're going to run this little bit of code here, and we're going to append to the draw block the first thing in the body block, which contained all of our draw commands. So basically, if the text of the button isn't found in the word, then we're drawing one of the pieces of the body, and then the next thing that happens is we remove the first thing in that body list. So next time we come around, the next draw command will be the next thing in the body that needs to be drawn. Then we go through a little for each loop. Next, we're going through every character in this S text field, and putting first of all, copying the word into that S-text field. And if it doesn't find in the K field one of those characters, then we replace each of those characters in the S-text field with a star. So essentially what this is doing is starring all of the unfound characters in our guesses list. And then we show the GUI, which later is going to get the name G. And after that's done, we have a word with some stars, or if the word's been completely found, we run this little evaluation. If the word is the same as what's in the S-text field, then we alert the user that they've won, and we quit the program. Or if we've gone through this process and removed all of the items from the body block, then that means that we've fully drawn the man. He's fully hung, and so we need to alert the user that they've lost and tell them what the word is, and then end the program. And in the beginning of the program, we're going to loop through the entire length of the word and put that many stars into the S text field so that we can see how many letters are in the word. So that just run when the GUI is shown. And down here, we're going to add to the GUI up above and run this little loop. And what we're doing is we're going through each of the characters in this little CS string, and we're assigning the length of that string to the variable C. So we're going to repeat that loop that many times, increment at each loop, and then we're going to, inside the loop, we're going to append to the GUI layout one of these buttons that we've created up above, and on it we're going to pick out of this string the current numbered letter. So basically we're creating a whole bunch of buttons, appending those buttons onto the GUI block, and each of those buttons has all of these actions. So when you click on any one of those buttons, they all do the same thing, checking through all those evaluations. And this little line just ensures that we put 9 characters on a line. So when you divide the current number by 9, if the remainder is 0, so if we're at 9 items, we append to the GUI block a return which just puts the next thing on the next line in the GUI. And then we lay out the GUI, view it, center faced, and we label that layout G, so when it's referred to later on we can update the G. So that's it. That's how it runs. Run it here. And so you can see here's the starred text that we started with. When I click on one of these buttons, let me know if I get a wrong answer. It draws a bit of the new stuff above. And looks like see what this might be. No. I'll just finish it up. This again, and you'll see another word comes up. Different word, one of the words out of this list. So they're all going to be words that relate to Rebol. Sort of randomly clicking on letters of it. So in about 28 lines, 27 lines without the header, we get a full Hangman program. And there's a version up in the short examples that is less than 20 lines, where leaves out this routine. It makes the drawing a little bit simpler. Doesn't have all the features, and it uses, instead of a bunch of buttons, it uses a drop-down selector or a text list selector, and you just have to type in the words that you want to use, and that gets down to fewer than 20 lines. So it's possible to create a pretty interesting program with just a few lines of code.